they cynically attached themselves onto the Leave campaign. Not because they thought it was the right move for the UK. Many of them never even given the rights of wrong of Brexit a second thought. They put themselves on the Leave platform solely for the purposes of their own self-promotion. They never asked themselves, is Brexit the right move for the UK? They only ever asked, how? How can I exploit this EU referendum to put myself in pole position to become the next Prime Minister? And inspired by the examples of UKIP and the SNP, they just lied their asses off. They never considered themselves anything as trivial as the truth. They just repeated bare-faced lie after bare-faced lie. The SNP had the bullshitometer about an 8 out of 10. The Brexiteers cranked that sucker right up to 11. They were willing to promise anything to capture your vote. They're like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Come along, children. I got lots of Brexit goodies for you. I've got £350 million extra a week for the NHS. No reduction what the EU spends. No Turks will be permitted into the UK. And all for free. Come along, my little dears, my little mice. Come to me. What will it be? No VAT on fuel. No more immigrants. Governments will get their subsidies. Higher wages. Wonderful new trade deals. Yes, yes, all inside. Come on, little dears. Step inside, my Brexit bus. The Conservatives, Brexiteers, were relying on the fact that leaving the EU will be so destructive to jobs and future opportunities for Britain that when voters, when in the ballot box, when faced with the cold, hard reality of the immense harm that Brexit would cause to our own country for very little actual gain, we voters would have no other choice but to vote Remain. What the Conservative Brexiteers were in fact doing was playing a game of chicken with the British electorate. Brexiteers never for one single second conceived that the majority of the UK could be so stupid to vote to leave the EU. But unfortunately for them, they lied far too well. Buoyed up by this utter faith that we, the people of the UK, couldn't possibly do something that would cause so much harm to our country and ultimately ourselves. The Leave campaign told outrageous lie after outrageous lie, made promises they knew they couldn't keep, played to the basis aspects of humanity because they were supremely confident that they would lose. That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to lose. The whole EU referendum was played by the Conservative Brexiteers as a game they planned to narrowly lose, to keep people riled up about the EU and immigration, to distract us from the failures of our own government. They promised the earth. They promised us everything in the supreme confidence that they would lose. So in the years to come, they could claim, if only we voted for Brexit, we could have given all these wonderful things. Hey, maybe, just maybe, if you vote for me again, I'll give you another EU vote. But this is not a game. These are people's lives you're playing with. Leaders of the Leave campaign wanted to gather the votes of pissed off Leavers for their own personal political vantage in the years to come. If you can get 48% of the electorate to vote for you, you will be Prime Minister. Cameron was Prime Minister with an overall majority with 36.9% of the vote. This isn't some dodgy prediction of a Brexitless future. This is precisely what happened in Scotland. The SNP's vote, share of the vote, went up by 30% in the general election after the Scottish independence referendum, based on all the lies the SNP told during the independence referendum. That's what the likes of Boris Johnson and the rest of them wanted all along. It was all a game. The morning after the vote, Nigel Farage claimed that the £350 million claim that it could be spent on the NHS was a mistake. It was a mistake because they lied about intending to give £350 million to the NHS, although they did lie about that. It was a mistake because they won. Because when you win, you have to deliver on what you promised. But they can't deliver on what they promised because all total bullshit. But if they'd lost the referendum, you know, they would be repeating that lie on a loop every single day. If we voted to leave, we'd have £350 million extra to spend on the NHS every week. If we voted to leave, we'd have £350 million extra to spend on the NHS every week. If we voted to leave, we'd have £350 million extra to spend on the NHS every week. They're repeating that lie on over and over and over, again and again and again. Now, and once the Brexiteers won, what did you hear? Crickets. They said absolutely nothing. If they'd wanted to win, you would have seen it at the first press conference after the vote. Boris Johnson and Michael Jevons standing shamefaced like naughty schoolboys caught stealing, saying we shouldn't be in a hurry to leave the EU. Why? Why would you say that? You've been calling the EU blind for weeks. If the EU is that bad, why wouldn't we want to leave immediately? Because they knew. Every word coming out of their mouths was pure bullshit. Don't believe me? Check the video. If they meant what they said, that press conference would have been totally different. They would have been, yes, we're out of the year. I've been dreaming of this day for years. Oh my God, I've got notebooks full of ideas. This is going to be amazing. No, none of that. Just a pair of lying scumbags with stunned faces thinking, oh dear God, what have we done? The Leavers didn't have a plan. If this is what you've dreamed for happening for years, how can you not have a plan? Not one of them. Now we have a Conservative Party going into the greatest crisis this country has faced since the war, and they still have no plan. Brexit means nothing. The whole referendum was a ruse. It was a con job. They wanted to lose, to keep people focused on the EU and immigration, to keep them focused on them, to blind us from the actual truth. The reason for our problems are the failures of our own government. The supreme irony of the EU referendum is that both sides of the Conservative debate wanted Remain to win. That explains why the Remain campaign never explained that the EU immigration could be controlled, because the Conservatives knew that they'd still need to scapegoat immigrants after the EU referendum in future elections. And the Leavers wanted a huge millions of pissed off Leave voters so they could milk their votes in the years to come, because they'd bought into all this thought that they could get easy access to this wonderland if it wasn't for the damned EU. If there ever was a vision of a better future, they would have shared it by now. They knew. even as they spoke the words that Brexit would be a disaster for this country, and they still didn't care. They gambled. They gambled with this country's future for their own personal political gain. They gambled and they lost. But it is we, the people of the UK, who will ultimately have to foot the bill for all their self-serving bullshit lies. Bastards! Bastards!